what's up? This is Katrina from In Cat We Trust, and I am back with another movie review video. Finally, I totally slacked, guys. But before I get into that, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and click the notification button for any new videos and updates from me on my YouTube channel. And so, I was very fortunate to get an early screening to see Evil Dead Rises early, and so I saw it last night. And before I give you my thoughts, I'm going to give you my thoughts on the movie. If you have not watched it yet, I suggest you do not watch it this video until after you watch the movie. I don't want to spoil anything because there will be spoilers. So, if you know the Evil Dead franchise, which originally the first trilogy was from the 80s, where it kind of stars Bruce Campbell as Ash, the original protagonist, who kind of was dealing with a bit of a force out of an ancient text. And so this was, again, what's considered, it's around the necronym Ex-Mortis, which is like an ancient Sumerian text. And it kind of pretty much causes all this chaos and havoc in a group of cabin inhabitants in the wooded area in Tennessee. And so this was, again, if you think of from back then, and this spawned a TV series. I believe there was a comic book, there was a musical, there was video games. Evil Dead has made its place in the horror world, and it's like a cult classic now. And so they did reboot Evil Dead in 2013, I think, where it was kind of like a reboot, but also kind of a continuation of the original trilogy. And so when I saw the trailer for Evil Dead Rises, I was like, okay, we're doing something a little different here because now we got a mom and children, and I'm a mom, and I'm a mom, and while I do love me some horror movies, I also believe I'm a lot smarter than most people in horror movies would be because let's not do shenanigans. Okay, and so we start off with this mom and her three children, and the movie kind of starts off with these two teens, that kind of, they're kind of at this like cabin. This girl's kind of talking to some guy who's clearly a bit of a, a little bit of a douche canoe. And then you see this girl. She kind of, I guess, I'm thinking this other sisters or friends. I can't remember right now, but she kind of, talks to her and realizes something's wrong with her. And then we kind of get put into one of the main characters, which wound up being a woman named Beth, who kind of, is a person who works with bands. She works, I think she's a guitar tech. And, she gets some news in the very beginning and goes visit her sister, Ellie, who has three children. And this is now takes place in Los Angeles in an apartment. And so we see, like, the mom is kind of in a space, but you could tell she's like, she's dyeing her hair. She's like a tattoo artist. She does tattoos from home. Her daughter is about, like, peace and the earth. Her son's a DJ. Her other daughter clearly likes horror. She, I think, took a doll head off and put it on a spike or a staff and called it Staphne, which I thought was very clever, by the way. And so, I wasn't this creepy as a kid, but I do get it because I'm a bit of a creepy person now, like, regards to horror movies. Let me clarify that. And so you kind of see, the sister comes, Beth comes to see Ellie, and she kind of just want to catch up, and she realized, oh, well, Ellie husband left. The kid's dad left, and she's kind of struggling. There's also the situation at the apartment. They will be getting rid of the apartment, which means she has to find another place to live. And so she goes and, I guess, wants to tell the sister what's going on because she didn't know, because apparently she didn't answer no phone calls because, cell phones apparently don't work that well. They don't know how to text a person back. People always on your phones. You know who you are. Always on your phones. Make sure you answer a call, answer somebody's messages, please, and that'd be nice. But anyway, and so she sent the kids out to get pizza, and an earthquake happens. And so during this earthquake, this was mistake number one. Because I was like, all right, this is what I'm talking about, doing the shenanigans. And so the earthquake happens, and let me get the names of the children. And so the names are Cassie, Bridget, and Danny. Those are the children, Danny being the son in this scenario. And so during the earthquake, they drop the pizza. There's a hole that happens in the parking lot of the building. So Danny goes and jump into this hole because, and I'm going to have to say it, I'm sorry, white friends of mine, but white people do dumb shit in horror movies, and he did a dumb thing. And so he jumps in this hole, and there's like this, like, safe, a vault with like something clearly broken. There's all these crosses and rosaries, and he thinks, oh, let me go look inside. And so that was mistake number one right there. Because we all know, at least Katrina, at least I know, because we don't do these kind of shenanigans, at least I know, we do not go in holes that pop up because this could clearly, this is not safe. I don't want to fall and break something, blah, blah, blah. But he goes down there. And then not only does he go in the hole where it's not safe, let's not go touch things you don't know what it is and touch things that you shouldn't be touching. And so he then took some vinyls, because again, he's a DJ. He took some vinyls, put them in his bag. I'm confused of why you thought this was going to be a musical vinyl when it had dates on it. Usually, when there's dates on a vinyl, that's probably some words and not actual music to listen to. But I guess Danny, not that bright in 2023. Who knows? I guess you're not that bright. I don't know. But he takes these vinyls and then he takes this book, which is really creepy looking, has like these teeth thingies on the side, and he goes and take it and put it in his bag. Again, this was all covered up by a bunch of crosses and rosary beads. And if you know, even if you are not religious and you don't even believe whatever it is that works for you guys, anything that's usually surrounded in crosses, there's a reason it's surrounded in crosses. So that was mistake number two, three, and four, because he did all those in this one section. So they get upstairs and he goes and open the book, and then the book has these claws and it like bites or attacks, and he bleeds, and he bleeds into the book. The book absorbs his blood, and the book just opened all up. And I'm like, and here's mistake number five. Because if I had a book that I wouldn't have taken, but if I had a book and my hand bleeds and it just eats, and then the book is open, clearly there's about to be some shenanigans about to happen. And I'm not going to have this happen to me. And so he not only shows this, and she tells him to put the book, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to put it away. And he lied. He lied to Bridget. Poor Bridget. He lied. He then goes put the vinyls on and play, and the man is clearly saying some prayers and reading some passages, and then shit goes down. And so why the mom is now in the space, because she told her sister what was happening. Ellie was like, I'm getting rid of my husband's clothes because FMS he deserves, because he left. You understand. And Beth is now sitting here trying to take care of Cassie, to make sure she's okay and give her a little bath, whatever, blah blah blah. And while he's doing this and the man is saying all this on the vinyl, his mom pretty much gets killed and possessed. And so it goes downhill from there, where now the mom is possessed, and he's like, "Oh my God, it's not my fault." And I'm like, "Bro, it is your fault. It is. Like, let's call a spade a spade. That is one of let's call a spade a spade. You, with dumb self, not only dug and stuff you didn't dug in it, but then you let the whole thing play, where the man clearly was saying, "Oh, you probably shouldn't do this." Let me go and play on vinyl number two, because there's three vinyls. So the first vinyl was kind of explained. The second vinyl is where all the stuff was happening, where he clearly said what he said, and the book stuff started coming to life. And here come these demons doing what they're supposed to do in this book. And so Danny, who was in denial for a good chunk of the time before things got real, it wasn't my fault. Like, Danny, 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 it's your fault. Poor sis was just trying to throw her husband's stuff away like she wanted to, clean break, new space, new type, new time, new me. And now she didn't get that because you want to do shenanigans and bring stuff into the apartment. Okay? And so then they had some really cool neighbors who really wanted to help. And I was like, poor guy, when the mom said he wanted to do a prayer, and I was like, bro, you're right. This requires prayer. But it didn't work because she killed all the people on that floor. And so I'm just like, oh, look at her, Danny. Look what you did. Look what you did, Danny. Look what you did. And so in turn of all that, and she becomes attacking, and she's like, I think at one point the daughter asks her, is she okay? And she says, mommy is with the maggots now. And I believe that the demon said, mommy's with the maggots now. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of, well, it's true, but gosh, a kid's got to deal with that real quick right away. And so Danny also then, because of all this and the mom attacking Bridget, the oldest daughter, poor Bridget, also now becomes one of these theming things, because apparently this thing deals by like spreading, like kind of multiplying itself, and so it just spreads and spreads. And so during all of this, now this is where I was having an issue with like some of the things they were, again, this is typical horror movie stuff though, just like you see the creepy thing and it's just kind of creepy. Let me go check. Let me go open doors. Like, oh, this sounds like mom, even though I know my mom died and my mom attacked my sister. I'm gonna open the door anyway because hello, that's smart. And yes, I know Cassie was like a little kid, but it's also like this is where you gotta have the common sense of teach your kids a little earlier that let's not open doors of people passed away, because clearly passed away, you know. And so Danny winds up getting stabbed, and he winds up turning two, and it becomes this really big like combobulated like one thing. And by the get to the and finally, because again they were being dumb a good chunk of the movie, just doing shenanigans. We get to the end, which leads up to the parking lot, where this pretty much is kind of started in the first place. And, Beth uses the iconic chainsaw because hello Ash from the very first movie, little ode to Bruce Campbell. And she finally does what she needs to do to kind of stop the demon, and then it's just now her and Cassie, and it's revealed during this movie that she is pregnant. That was the thing that we, in the beginning, that oh, she is pregnant, she's gonna be a mom. She thinks she'll be a good mom, and now clearly, I guess, she could be a good mom. And then we go back to now after this happens, the very first girl in the beginning of the movie who this happened to her was because she too lived in the building, and instead of getting in her car like I would have, yeah, I know you see a bunch of blood and guts and you're like, whoa, did something happen? But you can call the cops from inside your car outside the building. I'm like, ooh, it's terrible, terrible. As I'm driving out of the parking lot, we're gonna drive out of the building first, where I am safe, and then I'm like, let me call and hope the cops can come and check on this. Because not me. Let's be smart. Not me. Let's be realistic. Let's be realistic. And they weren't being realistic. But otherwise, so that's basically the plot summary. I just gave you the whole plot of the movie if you haven't watched it. And so now here is my review. It was very gory. So if you are an Evil Dead franchise lover, you would like the gore. There's a lot of gore. There was a lot of moments that was like, yes, if you like gore. Like, holy shit, holy crap. Oh man, oh my god. There were some gory moments. Um, I mean, it was a little different because it's more like a possession. It was more about like, again, very small centered again on a mom and her children, which I think makes it kind of like, oh man, you think you're safe in your own apartment? Guess you're not. You know. And so I'm a little conflicted because I think my biggest issue was from the very beginning. He was just so dumb. And I think that's what like took some points away from me. Is because from the very beginning, I was like, "You're just dumb, just early on. Just your sister warned, and this is the part. The sister warned him like, I don't know, bro. You probably should bring this back. Oh, bring it back in the morning." And he lied. And then he played the vinyls and opened books and looking. And now it's like, now where are you, bro? Now you're just some guts and blood. Now this is what happens because you don't do shenanigans. And so I think that was a problem. Like, it was decent. I thought I don't know if I would rank it because I thought Evil Dead the first one was pretty good, but then I wasn't really fond of 2 and 3, and I was iffy about the little reboot remake whatever. And so was it decent? Yes. I did like the premise that it was the mom, and again, I believe the poster for "It's Mommy Loves You to Death," and yeah, she sure did. She sure did. And so I thought that part was good. I thought that was good. And then we also, I believe Bruce Campbell also produced it. And so again, little ode to Bruce Campbell, the original OG, Ash. And so that was, I think, my biggest, like, it was very gory and it was a little different, and I did like that, and I did appreciate that. However, he was so dumb. Danny was just so dumb, and it took points for me because it's just like, I know sometimes horror movie people are dumb and they do dumb stuff, and you hope that maybe one somebody will learn. When we get horror movies, I guess. I mean, there's people who are laughing at certain parts because exactly, why are you this dumb? It just, Danny, you the reason. Like, Danny, this happened because you had to do white people shit. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't do white people stuff. I mean, you guys know what I mean. Horror movie, white people do the dumbest things in horror movies. Okay, the only one where the girl was really on it was Your Next, where Sis was ready. Sis was ready. Okay, and she did what she had to do, and she was smart. But usually people in horror movies do dumb white people stuff, white people shit, and now here we are with a bunch of dead people because you guys can't be smart. And so that was my biggest thing, because I kept saying, but from the very beginning. So I was just like, no, no, Danny, no, 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 no. But if I am now rating this out of 5, I will give it a 3.5. Because again, the gore is there. If you like, again, original Evil Dead gore, it is there. Again, I thought it was a little different of a concept, and I did appreciate that. I even liked the way it started, especially with the guy Caleb, who was truly a creep. So the boyfriend to the girl in the first half, as I was talking about. And so 3.5 out of 5 for me, it was decent. I just feel like, again, if you like gore, it's there. I did not find it scary, and again, to be fair, I don't find many things scary. I didn't find it scary. It was gory, and again, Danny, because he was so dumb right away. It was so soon, not even 10 minutes in. And I'm just like, you know what? Now I can't feel bad for you because you're being dumb. Now whatever happens, unfortunately for your mom and sister, it's unfortunate. But it's your fault. It should have just been you. It should have been you because you was being dumb. And I feel like that took it away because I'm just like, wow, it's so early on. It's not like you're like 10. You're teenager enough to understand that. I know you guys are free spirits, but again, if you see a bunch of crosses, that usually is not a good thing because you see something covered with a bunch of crosses. It was locked up for a reason. Your sister even told you it was locked up for a reason, and you insisted to play the vinyls and insisted to put it in your house in the open book and let things play. That was a choice. That was a choice. It did not help you either. Next, look where you're at now, Danny. Where are you at now? And so because of that, it is 3.5. But with my really long-winded review, because it was a bit long-winded, I am sorry. You guys, if you have watched it and you watched it early like I did, or when you do watch it this weekend, because it is coming out on the 21st, tell me what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, even which one's your favorite Evil Dead, because that's cool stuff. And as always, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I love you guys, and until the next video, I'll see you later. Bye.